Peace.
Broadcasting live from the 96.9 The Game Studios. It's time to go in the zone. Here's your host.
Welcome to the show. We are live on 96.9 The Game, streaming everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You are in the zone. Show, the Orlando sports fan, your host, Brandon Kravitz here, joined by my co-host and producer. He is Sweet Tea Tyler Caron. You can hit us up on the Mills Air text line at 50857. Prize today, we got Valkyrie's tickets to give away for tomorrow's big match. That is coming up at 4:50 p.m. during tea time, presented by WonderFan. This is day 2 now, where Tyler and I are testing out a video feature for the open of our show. Okay, we are going to walk before we run when it comes to this video stuff. But it is important to have some element of this on the show, and it's something that I've done with other outlets, entities, and projects that I work on. Tyler, this is not something that you and I do on a regular basis, but here we are on camera right now, the video feed streaming live to my Twitter account at Brandon Kravitz. We'll also put this up on our YouTube channel at Zoneheads Media, and we'll have this living in a variety of different areas. I just looked down at Twitter and I saw myself talking, and this is the kind of stuff that you have to get past. But yeah, we're still testing this out, so any feedback we'll take that under advisement. Yesterday we did Facebook and Twitter. Today I'm just going Twitter, and we'll continue to tinker with this until we get it just right.
Yeah, we're test running it. I mean, we're trying to figure out what do we need to do in order for the video, for the audio to come out the best. What do the zone heads want to see and hear, and the advice that you all give us on how to make it better. It's surely appreciated. It will be noted, and it's something that we've wanted for a long time. I've been here on the show almost 2 years, and I think 2 years ago we were talking about trying to add a video element to it, so we finally got it set up. Again, shout out to Frank, our engineer, for getting everything up and running, and we're curious to hear your feedback.
Conference tournament play is in full force right now. This is awesome. It feels like March. I'm walking around my house between show prep and house chores, and I've got my iPad with me everywhere I go, watching random college basketball games. The Zags knocked off St. Mary's in the WCC last night. Iowa State beat Cincinnati today by 20, and we got a ton of other games that are going on right now. And how about the UCF Knights, who started off hot in the Big 12, 87-72 over Utah, and pretty much everything that we said had to happen happened. You got a good game from Keyshawn Hall, you got a good game from Darius Johnson, and Mustafa Cham was one of the better big men in the game overall. So now they move on to today, and they take on Kansas. We'll give some takes on that here in a second. Our premium picks presented by Better Edge coming up, but exciting that they have made any noise at all in this Big 12 tournament, because we know how good this conference is.
Yeah, it was a 22-1 run at one point in the second half for UCF, and that's really what created the separation that reflected the 15-point differential up there on the final score. Keyshawn Hall doing exactly what you would expect Key to do. Keyshawn was snubbed of all-conference first team. He was honored with second team, and Keyshawn showed the conference exactly what they're missing on the first team last night, really taking control of that game. He gets to the free throw line with the best of them in the country, 14 attempts last night, 12 of them went down. Darius Johnson, this is the end of the ride right here. DJ is one of the rare players in college basketball, one of, I believe, the number 7 players in the Big 12 that started and ended their career at the same school. DJ knows that this is what it's all worked up to, so even if the odds are stacked against you, you still have the opportunity to go out every night, roll the ball out on the court, and try to pick up a win. Juice Ivy Curry, big off the bench with 15 points. Wasn't sure if he was even going to be available, and Juice ended up being productive. So a good night for UCF last night. Like you mentioned, everything that we requested, the keys to the game that it was going to take to get past the Utes, the Knights certainly did. So now will it carry over tonight against Kansas Jayhawks.
It's the kind of astute analysis that you really only get on this show. Yesterday, I said the Stars have to show up for UCF, and there they go. I don't know. I don't know where else you're going to get that kind of information. Our premium picks coming up in a moment. We'll give you our pick on Kansas UCF for tonight. UCF, a 10.5-point underdog. I haven't had the direct conversation with my wife yet about exactly what the next few weeks are going to look like. I know that you have, I think you put together a PowerPoint presentation to explain to your girlfriend how little you'll be talking to her. Different relationships, different flows. My wife sees my sports viewing in action every single night. She understands that most nights there's going to be something to watch. Before we even make a decision on anything, the first thing she ever says is there a game on tonight? Most of the time the answer is yes. Last night I fit in an episode of White Lotus. The season is phenomenal, by the way. Tonight feels like this is when it starts, because not only do you have games in college basketball, I'll be locked in on UCF Kansas. I'll stay up for that one. I'm on the Georgia-Oklahoma game. I'm on the Georgia side, so an eye on that. Those are happening simultaneously. You also have the Thunder and the Celtics playing in the NBA. That is probably the NBA Finals preview. I don't know what hand gesture you just made.
That's the back seat right there. That's where I'm pointing to.
No. That is the appetizer for me tonight, leading in to all that other stuff. That will start 2 hours prior to those other games, but this is definitely a lock-in kind of night if you like basketball.
Yeah, it's every night this week. And for the next couple of weeks, there is great basketball on pretty much all day. This week, it is all day from noon to after midnight. Gonzaga and San Francisco didn't tip off till 11:30 Eastern the other night in the WCC semifinal. So really 12 noon to 2 a.m. There's going to be not just basketball on, but quality basketball with implications for the future on the line. As far as it goes with Amanda, she knows the beast of the month of March is and what I turn into in the month of March. Amanda's spring break is next week, so she is actually going to be with me for this weekend and the following in between her spring break trip. So honesty is key in relationships, and I laid it all out there. Tell me if I'm out of line here and stop me at any point. But here is how I see these weekends going. And I think we met in a middle ground where we're still doing some fun things and we're spending time with each other and doing datesy stuff, while also consuming about 12 hours of college basketball a day on this weekend and the following. Wow. So we met right in the middle, or it's a perfect match.
Hard to accomplish all of that, but let's not completely breeze by the fact that you just used the word datesy stuff.
Yeah,
datesy stuff.
Datesy. I wouldn't call it a date. But it's datesy,
It's date-like qualities. Let's get to our premium picks. Starting the show off with a bang. Hit me with some music. Our premium picks presented by Better Edge. You can sign up using the promo code BeatBrandon. If you never signed up before, they'll throw you $20 just to give it a shot. Better Edge, the social betting platform of choice for yours truly. 3 polls, 2 options apiece. Putting your brain into a pretzel. Let's get to the questions that are out there on Twitter, the same place that we are streaming live right now. You're welcome, Elon. Who you got tonight against the spread as UCF takes on Kansas in round 2 of the Big 12 Conference Tournament? Kansas, a 10.5-point favorite, so you can't just take the winner here. You got to take the number. Who you got?
Yeah, the line opened at 9.5. That's moved in Kansas's favor, while the point total has gone down 8 points. 2 very different meetings between these 2 squads in the regular season. 99-48. It was a smacking. The Jayhawks walked into Orlando and handed the Knights. It's their biggest loss of the year. It still holds as the only time that UCF failed to reach 60 points, let alone 50. The other meeting that was in Lawrence, 91-87. And UCF took them down to the wire. In that game, it was Keyshawn Hall with 34 points. DJ gave you 19. When those 2 combine for that point total, you're setting yourself up well. You only got 2 points off of the bench for UCF in that game, and that's going to be a key factor here tonight. UCF is in a better spot currently than what it has been in the previous matchups with Kansas. But unfortunately, I think so is Kansas. You end the season with a ranked win over Arizona at home on senior night. DeJuan Harris, Hunter Dickinson, KJ Adams, been at Kansas for numerous years now. You sent them out in the right way. And I talked about Darius Johnson knowing the show is coming to a close. These Kansas Jayhawks do as well. Bill Self said it entering the Big 12 tournament that the party's almost over. It's going to end at some point here over the next couple of weeks. How do you want this story to end? I think Kansas still has a lot of juice, still has a lot of fuel left in the tank. I'm looking at a 15-point Kansas win here. Even UCF coming off, you mentioned pre-show, the advantage of getting to play yesterday for UCF, getting familiar with the court and interesting design out there. But Kansas is playing for a lot more than just positioning in the March Madness tournament. With how the season has gone, you are still looking for that light and that momentum heading into the tournament. And despite all the wrongs this year, I think Kansas still has the opportunity to end it with a big right before we officially hit the NCAA bracket.
Definitely not easy taking UCF plus the points because of the brand that Kansas is and all the talent they have. But you don't make money in sports betting going the easy route. I like UCF. Second night of a back-to-back. They're college kids. Who the hell cares? I like the fact that they've already played on this court. They already know the sight lines. They've already played well. They put up 87 points last night, and Kansas has to come in and kind of get their sea legs under them. So UCF should be able to start off hot in this game. They have to do that. That's my key to tonight's game. UCF can't be down by 10 to 15 points early in this game. I think they have to establish a lead early and make Kansas a little bit nervous. We've seen UCF take down this Kansas team before. You and I were in attendance the last time that happened, and so hopefully we get something close to that. I'll take UCF plus the points. 58% of the vote is on UCF plus the number. Who is your NBA MVP? A wider view of this discussion coming up later in the show, but we've all pretty much decided at this point that it's SGA or it's Nikola Jokic, the best player on the best team, or the unicorn who's putting up numbers that don't even make sense. Jokic just had a 30-20-20 game, the first time in NBA history that's ever been done. Who's your MVP if you had a vote?
30-20-20 game. Nikola Jokic had a triple-double in both halves of that game.
That's a side of that I had not heard yet.
2 triple-doubles in the same game for Nikola Jokic when he went for that 30-20-20. This guy is truly unbelievable, unlike anything that we have ever seen. Now, I think that you can use it as background, and I'm sure I will later in the show. For Nikola Jokic, who's a 3-time MVP, and you can argue that this season is better than his previous MVP years. You can't make your decision based on that because that doesn't mean that his counterpart, that his opposition, was putting up similar numbers in years past.
Absolutely.
Every season is on its own. However, Nikola Jokic is putting up some of the best numbers of his career. The efficiency is up. The steals are up. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the impact that he has on that Oklahoma City team, it is honorable. But Nikola Jokic for this Nuggets team is the reason why they are number 2 in the conference. It is the reason why they have made a late season push, and I think will finish as the second best team in the conference. The all-around game of Nikola Jokic, I think, is too much to pass up. Putting the voter fatigue to the side, my pick, and I believe the right pick and what it will be, is Nikola Jokic over SGA.
It's really tough to argue against one of these guys, but I would take SGA slightly over Nikola Jokic. He leads the league in points per game. He's also, I don't have to look it up, I know it's the case, metrics-wise, defensively, SGA is a better defender than Jokic is, and OKC is the best, or one of the top 3 defenses in the NBA. They're 1 or 2 in terms of overall defense, and he's the main reason why. He's also their best offensive player. And if you watch OKC play, everything runs through SGA. And it's not the same way as Nikola Jokic, because if you did the whole let's take them off the floor thing, OKC would survive better than the Denver Nuggets would. I've never liked that argument. You know that. It's one of my biggest sports pet peeves. We're not taking guys off the court and then deciding how bad the team is to then layer in MVP votes. SGA has been a better player on a better team this season overall. Close, but I'll go SGA. 75% of the vote on the Joker. Last one. Does time change F with your head? Very simple. This is the most simple question I've ever asked on Premium Picks, but the answer is either yes or no. Does time change F with your head?
For me personally, no. And I've told you this, that with my current stage in life, I am a 9 a.m. wake up kind of guy. Maybe a little before, maybe a little bit after. But I'm not waking up at any time of the year for the most part on a normal day when it's dark outside. And I think that can be the biggest impact of the time change. If you're waking up at 6 a.m. every day, 7 a.m., whatever it is, and a week ago, it was sunny. It was bright when you were heading into work. Now you still have pitch black for another half an hour. I could see that being mentally very different. It's a change up. It's different. I love this time of year because I will take sunlight for longer in my day. And with the summer hours, that's how it plays out. So no, it doesn't affect me in the slightest because I think the morning is where it really comes into play.
I would say yes, it does for me, but it's positive. It still messes with me because it's a lot. You got to get used to it, but it takes a couple of days, and then you just adjust to whatever it is. I'm an earlier riser than you are, but I don't mind waking up and it being dark for a few hours. I'm like you. I like that daylight lasting a little bit longer. We are in a studio that has no windows. I don't like walking in when it's sunny and then leaving when it's dark. That messes with my head more than anything. So the fact that I'm leaving the studio, and it looks like it's 2:00 in the afternoon, I love that. The main reason why I say yes, though, is that it messes with my kid.
I haven't heard about this.
Oh, my gosh, yes. So Owen will now the last couple of days, they said, okay, it's 8:00. That's his bedtime. All right, Owen, it's time to go to bed. And he'll point to the window and he'll go, but it's blue outside. And he go, I don't know how to argue with this. I don't know what the rebuttal. It doesn't matter. And then last night, Mallory tried to explain time change to him. No. He's 5. I'm like, you got to shut this down.
24. I'm still trying to understand it.
And that was the best part, is she was messing up the description. I'm like, you don't even know. We don't know how to explain this. It's definitely not going to register to a 5-year-old. Yes, with we did just get a no vote. Yes was at 100% not too long ago.
I think I was the stray no vote. I generally vote on these as I was going, so shout out to the no's.
Yeah, not a lot of no's. Yes, with 85% of the vote. Raheem Palmer with his best bets. An exciting night in the NBA with the Celtics and the Thunder. Also, the T-Wolves taking on the Nuggets. We'll get his thoughts in just a moment. It is hot. It's cold. It's hot. It's cold. Now, this is what messes with my mind. This Florida weather not only messes with me, it puts my AC unit through a gauntlet of weather changes. And much like any of us, it's working overtime these days. Got to make sure you have an AC company in your back pocket that you can rely on in case things go sideways. That is Mills Air. You can contact them anytime. They are ready, willing, and able to answer any questions that you may have. They have 32 years of experience in this market. It's the company that I trust for all of my family's AC needs, and I recommend that you go and check them out. Upgrade your AC system with the top quality service and professionalism that Mills Air provides. Call Leon and the crew, schedule your appointment, and tell them that Brandon Kravitz from In the Zone sent you on by. 407-277-1159 and online at millsair.com.
What's your handle, bro?